Today is the 4th of April 2012 and it is the Vyakarana Shiksha. Right now we're doing some verses from Raghuvamsha Kavyam. Let us do the Mangalacharanam. Ramo Rajamani Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhihata Nishacharatamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhutame Bho Rama Mamuddhara Rama Rameti Rameti Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Onnamiti Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani Ai Un Rilruk Eong Ai Ouch Hayavarat Lanya Nyamanga Nanam Jabang Garadash Jabagadash Kapa Cha 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 Ta Tarva Kapai Sha Sha Sarhal Iti Maheshwara Sutrani. Now in last time's class, just a couple of things. While we were just talking to Vasu before the class, I just realized that we finished up our Thursday class last Thursday, and within 2 days came Rama Navami. So the Rama Katha finished. It also is a good omen. I'm taking it like that. Sumuhurtam. It was confirmed because we didn't plan it. I didn't plan it like that. It just happened that we finished the Sargaha, and then all of a sudden Rama Navami came. So that is, we take it as Sri Rama's grace. Okay. Now, last time in the class, we were finishing up this verse. Now, I don't know if I mentioned in this prior verse this one thing. We had the samasa over here, which is the samasa here was Gruhitam Vartma Yena, Gruhita Vartma. So in the now, I don't know if I mentioned this in the class, but this is again what's called a Sapeksha Samasaha. So Sapeksha Samasaha because something inside the Samasaha has a dependence of something outside the Samasa, like Saha. It's Dasharatha, so one who has taken the path of a deer. So Guruho Gruhita Ruru Vartma is what we should have had. It's Ruru is connecting with the with a part of the compound. You know, so then we should not keep it outside the compound. But see, this is allowed because it says Sapekshatvepi Gamakatvat Samasaha. Sapekshatvepi Gamakatvat Samasaha. So now that is what the explanation is given, because even there's an interdependence outside like that, then because it was taken here, that is what's called a Sapeksha Samasaha. That this Apeksha means there's a dependence, an expectancy. Still, but anyway, I was just reading Professor Deo's notes after the class, and I just realized that I don't know if I mentioned this in the class or not, but anyway, if I didn't mention it, you say Mamo Upatta Durita Kshaya Dvara is a classic example. You say Mamo Upatta Durita Kshaya Dvara. I think Vasu, you're not, I think you mute yourself, Vasu. I think you may have to mute yourself because some echo is coming. Okay, so it says Mamo Upatta Durita Kshaya Dvara. It is not, you know, it is Mamo Durita. So at Mama is connected with the Durita, Upatta Durita Kshaya Dvara. When you keep them, it should be Madhupatta. Should be Madhupatta, sorry. Madhupatta Durita Kshaya Dvara should go inside the compound. But it is the Apeksha is, you know, it is Gamakatvat Samasa. Anyway, so that's we have discussed in the class before. I want to mention one more time that we have that kind of a samasa in the last class. And the other thing we were deriving last time is the word Raghuvamsham itself. So we did that in the class last time, and we were talking about this Raghuna Vamshaha Raghuvamshaha. Then Tam Raghuvamsham Adhikritya Kritam. How do we get that? Because we add the pratyaya An by Parag Divya to An using Sutram 4387 Adhikritya Krite Granthe. Adhikritya Krite Granthe. And then what happens is that, of course, we do the usual supluk, because this entire samudaya has the pradipadika sanya by krut tadita samasascha, because and the tadita pratyaya remote tadita starts from 4176, and then we get the pradipadika sanya, and then we do supluk. But now comes the vartikam, which says that lubakhyaikarthasya pratyayasya bahulam. When this pratyaya an, you take the lup, and of course pratyas lukshlu lupaha. Pratyasya lukshlu lupaha. So entire pratyaya is removed by pratyasya lukshlu lupaha. and we get back the same form Raghuvamsha. That's what we get. So so we get the same form as Raghuvamsham again, because pratyasya luk shlulupaha, the entire pratyaya is gone, and then nalumata angasya, because we did if you do a luk shlup, or sorry, a luk shlu or lup elision, then the you cannot do any anga karyam based on that pratyaya, because normally we have pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam. So pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam we have, but then what happens is that pratyaya lakshanam cannot be used to do the anga karyam if you've done a luk shlu or lup. So that is what happens here, and then we get back the same Raghuvamsha. So Raghuvamsham is not a wrong word, because it might be like homam or yajñam, which are incorrect, but this is not incorrect, because what has happened is the pratyaya an has come with adhikritya krite granthe, and then lup akhyayika arthasya bahulam. It may or may not happen. In this case, it does happen. So, and then we're looking at a sutram, and we went inside 4387 for 1 second, and there we saw, at least I saw, a new verb. So 4387, we look at that. 4387, 4387, 4387, 4387, 4387, 4387, 4387. Okay, so this is the sutram here, adhikritya krite granthe, 4387, and then we saw, he says adhiprastutya, having introduced that, having made that the subject, and he says agurya. This agur, this is a special dhatu which I realized last time after the class. That's where we stopped the last class, is agurya. Agurya is this dhatu gur. Apparently in the old days they had this thing about, you announce or you promise that you're going to discuss or talk or chant something. So that it says here that agur. Agur means to approve, to agree, or to assent, or to promise to pronounce. So basically, when you make something the subject matter, and you say that this is what's going to be, chanted or pronounced or discussed, so that is called agurya prastutya. So that is when it says adhikritya krite granthe, means that making that this is a text which is being composed, going to be composed using that as a subject matter. So that is what is pronounced or so-called promised in the beginning. Then that subject matter, in this case Raghuvamsha, that takes the pratyaya an, and then that pratyaya an takes lup bahulam, because akhyayika. Akhya means a story, it's a narrative. So that's we get Raghuvamsham back to Raghuvamsha, and then become Raghuvamsham. Okay, so now of course agurya is straightforward. You take dhatu gur, add the pratyaya ktva, and then add the pratyaya lyap, because of samasanyang purve ktvo lyap. So, and then of course we get anubandha lopaha, and then halicha dirghaha, agurya halicha dirghaha. Okay, now next verse is verse 73. Again, this is Raghuvamsha Kavyam. This is chapter number 9, Davamah Sargaha. And we've come a whole round circle, because last time we finished Raghuvamsha Kavyam last week, we finished the entire 12th Sargaha. Now we are coming back to the beginning from where we started, which is the Davamah Sargaha. So, okay, let's read verse number 73. This is on top of page 152. Kumbhapurna bhavaha paturuchairuchachar ninadombhasik tasyaha tatrasa dvirada brumhita shanki shabdapatinam ishum visasarja. Kumbhapurna bhavaha paturuchairuchachar ninadombhasi tasyaha tatrasa dvirada brumhita shanki shabdapatinam ishum visasarja. So Padacheda should be straightforward. Kumbha Purana Bhavaha Patuhu Daha Ambhasi Tasyaha Tatra Saha Dvirada Brumhita Shanki Shabdapatinam Ishum Visasarja, Visasarja, Visasarja. Let me see if Ven is here. Are you here, Ven? Ven might be here.
Yes, yes, sir.
Can you try to just find a thing on them padam here? Let's see, put you to work. Give me a break. So, okay, go ahead.
It looks to me like there are two, maybe Chachara and
Correct. Chachara.
Visasarja. Both
Correct.
looks like.
Correct. Both are. So,
Yeah.
so that means that we probably have two sentences and a clause and a sentence. You know, that's what we're looking at. So Uchchachara and Visasarja. Now, who's the subject of Uchchachara? First of all, what is Uchchachara? What lakara is that? Like Jagama, Papata, Uvacha.
Yeah, that's lit. They're lit. Yeah.
Lit lakara. Because you can see the
Double Chachara.
see the abhyasa, right? So
Yeah,
literally dhaturan abhyasasya. And you can see the ending, the null pratyaya.
Okay.
You can also see atopadhaya happening over here. So this I didn't put a document here because we've done this many times. So if you want to practice these, go on the website, and because these are very common forms. Like we must have done vacha, babhuva, pata. We must have done these on the web. If you go on the website and just look at the examples, I'm sure you can find at least something. Pata we might have done. I'm sure we might have done papata, papata. So it's all the same. Basically, you have to add the lakara lit, you get the tip pratyaya, tip text nala desha by 3-4 is char. Yes, see, if you take it as December 13, it's all the same steps as papata. Chachar with same steps. Add the pratyaya lit, anubandha lopaha, bring in tip becomes null. Paha, then abhyasa karyam, dhaturam abhyasasya. So remember that with dirvachane we have to wait to do abhyasa first before doing atupadhaya, because the ajadesha should not be done before abhyasa. So we first do the abhyasa karyam and then we come back and do atupadhaya. So papata, the same way we have chachara, so exactly same thing, chachara, and same thing visasarja, same thing. So in this case we are using puganta laghupatasya cha. Puganta laghupatasya cha. In fact, I think just in yesterday's comments we just had that. Let me just show you that in yesterday's comments, because we derived the same form here, which is the Visasarja, Sasarja, same form Sasarja. Remember yesterday's comment. Any comments on the comments? Definitely. Let me see, because I just remember just yesterday we had this. Let's see. Where was that?
Oh, the word comes up.
Yeah, the word comes up here, so you can look at the post.
Yeah, that.
You can look at. No, but the thing is that this one is in the comments, though. In the comments. So what I can do here is that, see, I can go into this mode. I can go here, and I can go into the comments.
It's April 3rd statistic.
The post on April 3rd, but it's a post on which is the post on
Drakshasi.
Drakshasi. So here it is, Drakshasi. Okay, so it is here. So yeah, thank you. So Visasarja right here, Visasarja. So same steps. Add the pratyaya lit, the karti pragaha, Pratham Purusha Ekavachanam. So and then we make the tipadesha thing. We get srij, then urat, the Guruvarna and the Abhyasa takes the akaradesha, then urandaparaha, aladisheshaha, and then puganta laghupatas. That's the only difference. Puganta laghupatas cha urandaparaha. So the same steps. Yeah. Thank you, Anuji. Thank you. So okay. So those are the two verbs. Now who's the subject of the Uchchachara? By the way, char has two meanings. Char is to move around, also mean to comes in Gita, brahmacharyam, to practice also. Brahmacharyam charanti comes in Bhagavad Gita. So it comes in Gita a lot of places. So samachara comes in Gita. Samachara comes in Gita. Samachara. Mukta Sangas Samachara comes in Gita in 2-3 places. Karyam Karma Sama. So much to practice. Achara is to practice. Practice Achara. So so what is Uchchachara means? Ucharanam, right? Again, I said if you want to try any word, the Upasarga Dhatu, the combined meaning, Artha. So then in that case, try the various forms of that. So here we have ud plus char. It's like ucharanam, ucharayati is to pronounce. Uchachara means it's sounded, to sound. Uchara. So if you can look at ud plus chara, uchara, the dictionary, it has the meaning of to sound, to make a sound. Uchachara means to, ud means to kind of move up, means to sound. So that's what is happening here. So uchachara, uchara, if you look at that, uchara, to rise, to ascend, to arise, to emit, to utter, to pronounce, to utter sound. So uchachara means it sounded, so it kind of moved up. Okay. So then let's see. So who's the subject of that? When uchachara. So we got the verb. So who's the subject of that?
I think it's ninadaha.
Very good. Ninadaha is the sound. Ninadaha is the sound. So the sound kind of exploded, the sound sounded, the sound moved up, the sound filled the air, what you want to call it. And then the sound emanated maybe. And then it has two adjectives, which is kumbha purana bhavaha. Straightforward. So kumbhasya puranam, right? And then kumbhasya puranena bhavaha. Bhavaha means which originated, by the filling of the water pot. Kumbhasya purana. So very straightforward compound. So Nrsimha says, go ahead.
Is it Puranam? Is it the text is Purana or Purana?
It's Purana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dhatu Purana. So it is going to become like this. Is going to become Satpannaha. Is Kumbha Purana Bhavaha. So now Bhavaha is, we can take it as Pachadyach Pratyaya. Ach has been added here by the sutram, which is, Nandigrahi Pachadibhyo Liu Ninyachaha. And the Pachad is usage. Any dhatu can take the pratyaya ach in the kartari arthe. So it means that it is the doer of the action. Sutram is here. Nandi grahi pachadibhyo lyuninya chaha. And then by 3 kartari. Very straightforward kartari krit, nothing special. So bhava doesn't have to be an abstract noun. So this is not like prabhavaha. This is not the pratyaya which is in sense of bhave. This is not in sense of bhave. Bhave means an abstract noun. So prabhava means origin. But here bhavaha means that one who's originating, one who's occurring. So it is an agent. It's an agent. Use the sense of the agent, the one who's doing the action of being. So here what we have. So this like this is not like udbhavaha prabhavaha like that. Because this bhavaha is used by pachadyach bhavatiti bhavaha. Because if you take a word like if you make it, unless you can make it a bahuvari compound, this bhavaha will not be an adjective to ninadaha. Cannot be an adjective. So we have to make it as an adjectival form, and for that we have to use pachadyach. So not an abstract noun, not bhave. This is not bhave. This is kartari krit. So simple compound. So we have one adjective. So the sound moved up, which originated kumbha. And then patuhu. Patuhu, I think the way the commentary, by the way, we have the commentary Malinatha on this, so we can use the commentary. Very simple commentary. I'll read out some parts of it to you. So patuhu can mean also skillful, clever, but here I think it means like a sweet sound, a wonderful sound. So the commentator says, let's see what he says. So patuhu, the commentary he gives is that madhuraha. Patuhu madhura in this case. So this is not, because patu has different meanings. Patu can be skilled, clever, but this is not just madhuraha. So a sweet sound, a nice, I would say it's a nice sound. A nice sound came out, it emanated. Then uchchaihi uchchachara. Uchchaihi is a avyayam, means loudly. It loudly came out. It loudly spread around. So very clearly, loudly, uchchaihi. Then tasyaha ambhasi. Tasyaha ambhasi, if you look at the prashlokaha, in the prashlokaha, we had the word, in fact, let me just go there for 1 second. The prashlokaha, I didn't scan that page, give me 1 second. The prashlokaha, what did we have? Because we had the Tamasa Nadi being mentioned there, Nadi Tamasa. So at that time, let me see if I can bring that here. Okay, so in the previous verse we had this word tamasam nadim prapa. So tasyaha, so like sitayaha, so tamasayaha nadyaha ambasi. So in the water of that river, which is the tamasa. So it says, if you look at the commentary again, it says that tasyaha is let's see what it says. Tamasayaha ambasi. Tamasayaha ambasi. So this wonderful, this nice sound loudly emanated, by the filling of this water part. This sound came from it's emanated in the water of that river. Tasyaha ambasi. So always establish the basic sentence, which is the verb, which is the uchchachara. Then fill in the karta if you can. In this case, the ninadaha. Then it has some adjectives, which is the patuhu and the kumbhapurana bhavaha. Then uchchaihi is an adverb qualifying uchchachara. Uchchairuchchachara means it loudly emanated. And this is another saptami. The saptamis and shashtis and panchamis can wait. You can take them in the end. So this is a little clause over here saying in the water of that river. Always when you have a pronoun, look at the noun behind it. And in this case, we have to fill in from the prior verse. As I said, tasyaha tamasayaha ambasi. So that's one sentence. The second sentence is that tatra. Tatra means what? Tatra again is a pronoun. Tatra is saptamyastral, means tasmin ninade. Tasmin ninade. In that sound. So you're kind of targeting that sound. In that sound. So tatra says tatra ninade. So tasmin ninade. Tatra means tasmin here. Of course, the sutra is straightforward. It is simply 5.3. 5.3 in the beginning comes saptamyastral, and this can be used in the sense of saptami after these words, which are kim sarvanama bahubhyaha advyadibhyaha. And of course these get the sanya of vibhakti, because normally the sup and ting have the vibhakti sanya, but those are not the only ones. Even here we have pragdisha vibhakti. Why is that important here? Because what does it matter whether is vibhakti sanya or not? Because only then we can use the tadadi namaha, which we need to use here. So to get the akara adesha in place of the dakara and then do atogune, so that can only be done vibhaktau, because vibhaktau is coming over here. So practice all these rules over here, which you can practice, and now we come to the end of the book, so you should practice these rules. So anyway, so tatra is saptamyarthe. So tasmin ninade, in that sound, which targeting that sound, saha dasharathaha. And he said, Ishum visasarja. He released an arrow. In the direction, you can see in the direction of that sound. He released an arrow. And then Shabdapat. So that's the basic sentence now. Now we have two adjectives here. One is for the Dasharatha and one is for the Ishum. The one for Ishum, the adjective is Shabdapatinam. And then the commentator says Shabdapat. Shabdena equals Shabdanusarena patatiti Shabdapatinam, which means which follows the sound. Pat is to fall. So patin means which falls, in this case, which follows, which, and then Shabdanusarena patati. It goes according to the sound. So as the sound came, so in the same direction, in the same following the sound, this arrow. So Shabdapatinam, of course, this sutra we have seen many times in the class already. So it says, anyway, tasyaha tamasayaha tatra ninade. And then Shabdapatinam is Shabdena Shabdanusarena patati tachilaha. Now actually, as a matter of fact, both these words over here, which is the Shabdapatinam as well as Dirada Brumhita Shanki, these are both using the same sutra, which is Supya Jato Ninistachilye, Supya Jato Ninistachilye. Now, okay, let's do this one first because I have everything in the document I put in the notes over here. Is Dirada Brumhita Shanki. So, Diradaha. Diradaha means it's a Bahuvari compound. Dvau Radau Asya. Dvau Radavasya. So one who has two tusks. So one has two tusks. So Diradaha. Very simple Bahuvari compound. Diradaha. So Dirada. So, and then Diradasya Brumhitam. Now Brumhitam here is not it's a nishtha pratyakta pratyah, but this is the napumsake bhavektaha. See, as I mentioned to you many times, we are used to this nishtha pratyaya as a past passive participle. But don't always jump to the conclusion that this is a past passive participle. This one is not. The test here is that past passive participle should be an adjective to somebody. You say Ramena Vali Hataha. So Vali is qualifying Vali. Ramena Vali Hataha. So Maya idam uktam. Maya idam uktam. So you can say Vachanam to supply something. But if there's nothing to, if you look at it over in this context over here, there is nothing that this thing is qualifying. This is a noun in its own right. It's called napumsake bhavektaha. For example, you can say balakasya jalpitam. Balakasya hasanam, even better. The boys laugh. Tasyaha jalpitam. We mentioned the classes before many times, you know. So mama vilapanam. So these are all these neuter nouns. The test is that they should be neuter nouns. They're always neuter. Of course, in this case, it's gone inside the compound, so it doesn't help you. The second test is that in connection with that, if you have napumsake bhavektaha, the shashti bhakti has to be used. So duradasya brumhitam, not duradena brumhitam. If you want to make it the if you use the past passive participle, what you get is that you get this tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha. You make it into a passive form, which what I'm talking about is this one. Tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha. The pratyakta is used in only bhava karmanoho. So you get the, if you take it like that, then it will become duradena brumhitam. But here it is not. It is duradasya brumhitam. Now, okay, let me go there for 1 second. So what I'm talking about this sutram here, tayoreva krityakta kalarta, it becomes passive. And then what happens is that you use the 2-3-18. Okay, let's spend a couple of minutes over here. So how do you get duradasya brumhitam? This, because this is a karma, isn't it? This is the kind of the object of his doing. So first of all, the brumhitam, the pratyaya is the dviradaha is the doer over here. He's the doer of the action. So it's an elephant's trumpeting, the trumpeting of an elephant, the trumpeting of an elephant. So the elephant is the subject. The brumhitam is the action that he's doing. Okay. Now, what would have happened here is that because here comes any bhakti assignment, you have to go to 2.3 of the Ashtadhyayi, and your 2.3.18 would say that kartukaranayo stritiya. But then comes the next sutram, which is what? 2.3.65. Kartukarmanoho kriti. Now this is a very, very important sutra which we have discussed in the class many times. If you have krit pratyas being used, in this case we are using napumsake bhavektaha, and that has a krit sanya because it comes in the adhikar of krudating. So krudating. See, I said to you in the class many times that to master vyakaranam, you have to get a understanding of the Ashtadhyayi structure. And here the adhikar of krudating starts from 3.193. And we are right now using napumsake bhavektaha, which is in 3.3.114. So this pratyakta has the krit sanya. And when that being the case, then we have to go to 2.3.65, which says kartukarmanoho kriti. But then comes this sutram 2.3.69. It says na lokavyaya nishtha kadartatranam. So shashti is not to be used. Shashti is not to be used. If you have a nishtha pratyaya being used over there. So then now we are stuck with so the shashti is now lost. We have lost the shashti here. So then we would have to go back to this tritiya by this one over here. Let's say, for example, Ramena Vali Hataha. So Ramena, we don't say Ramasya Vali Hataha, we say Ramena Vali Hataha. Because that their hataha, the same nishtha pratyakta is being used. But in this case, we say the shashti is stopped, the 2365 is stopped by 2369. Now, why doesn't the same thing happen here? Because we just, in the document, I just put Duradasya Brahmitam. Duradasya Brahmitam. So now how did we get Duradasya over here? And we did not get Duradena Brahmitam. The reason is that because, I hope this is not getting too complicated for you, but by this time in the book now, you should be ready to tackle all these issues. The reason is that here there is a sutram which says that Ktasya cha vartamane, where is that now? 2365, here it is. 2367 says Ktasya cha vartamane. If the pratyaya ktaha has been used vartamane, then we have to use shashti only. And that sutram has a vartikam on that. The 2367 has a vartikam on that. That sutram 2367 has a vartikam on that, which says that, let's look at the vartikam 2367, Ktasya cha vartamane, and it says that, it says, Napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. So, Chatrasya hasitam, Mayurasya nrittam, and so on. Kokilasya vyaritam. So this is the smile of the student. This is the dance of the peacock. This is the cooing of the kokila, sound of the cuckoo, and so on. So here we go back to shashti. Okay, so let me do it one more time over here. What we're having over here is that we have used napumsake bhavektaha to create an abstract noun. So brahmitam is the act of, so brahma is also means to enlarge or to expand, but here it means the trumpeting of an elephant. Trumpeting of an elephant. Of course, right now we have a compound form. We have Dvirada Brahmita Shanki. But in the Vigraha Vakyam, we have made it Dviradasya Brahmitam. The question is that, how did we use Shashti over here? Okay, so first of all, this Pratyaya Kta has a Kritsanya by Krid Ating. Now, Dviradaha is the Karta. He is the doer of the action. So we would have to start from here. We have to start from 2-3-18. So try to follow this one more time. By 2-3-18, we should have had Kartrikaranayo Tritiya. So that's step number 1. Kartrikaranayo Tritiya. Okay, step number 2. We go to 2-3-65. It says that Kartrikarmanoho Kriti. We should begin a Shashti. So by 2-3-18, Tritiya was Prapta. Then 2-3-65 specifically says Kartrikarmanoho Kriti. So then now Shashti comes in here. But then comes 2-3-69 says no, don't do Shashti. When you get Lokavya Nishtha. So Shashti is now stopped. So 2-3-69 is going to stop 2-3-65 because this says Kriti. But this when Nishtha Pratyaya is being used, Shashti is not to be used. And finally comes this sutram, which is Ktasya cha vartamane. It has a vartikam on that. It says that Napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. So that's how we finally end up with the Shashti. So I hope this is not too complicated. We have done this in the class before. The important sutram here, if you ask me, among all these rules which we just talked about, is this one. This one is Kartrikarmanoho Kriti. This is the one that is important. Shashti comes in here. And then connected with that is the Nisheda Sutram, Nalokavya Nishtha Kalathatranam. So these two, please remember if you can. See, this one we should obviously know. This one we know. This one is used many times. Kartrikaranayostritiya. But this one we have to remember, which is the Kartrikarmanoho Kriti. And in connection with that, the Nisheda Sutram for that, Nalokavya Nishtha Kalathatranam. And then you understand that Shashti is going to be stopped over here, and then look at Ktasya cha vartamane and look at the vartikam on that. Okay, anyway, so right now it doesn't matter that much because we're in the compound right now. So Duradasya Brahmitam, this is of course Napumsake bhavektaha. We make a Shashti Tatpurusha compound. Now, as we mentioned in the class many times that if you have a Tatpurusha compound, which is going into a bigger compound, then we can forget about the Purvapadam. Because why is that? Because the Pradhanyam in Tatpurusha Samasa is in the Uttarapadam. So what we have here right now is that he is a Sudirada Brumhita Shanki. So he was suspecting, he was suspecting the trumpeting of an elephant. So now Dirada Brumhita, you can forget about Dirada because we already accounted for that. Duradasya, of course, first of all, we made Durada as a Bahuri compound. Then we made Duradasya Brumhitam. So now when we make a Shashti Samasa like that, you can forget about Dirada. Just look at Brumhita Shanki. Brumhita Shanki, because don't carry all the baggage around of the Purapada, of the Purusha compound. You can chop those down. You can, because that's important. You can see long compounds. Just take all the Tatpurusha compounds and chop them down. So you're going to now make a Brumhita Shanki. Brumhita Shanki. And of course that's a sutra which you have also seen many times in the class, which is Brumhitam Shankate Tachilaha. He was constantly suspecting the trumpeting. Dvirada Brumhita Shanki, of course the dhatu is Shaki Shankayam, of course because of the Iditonum dhatoho, you get the Num Agama. If you want to practice any of these rules, go on the website and you can just search for 7158, you'll get a lot of hits over there. So Iditonum dhatoho. And Idit dhatu, it's the Num Agamaha, so Num plus Ka. Of course, then Anubandha and Midachon Kyat Paraha, it goes after the last vowel in the term, so we get Sha, Num, Ka, Anubandha Lopaha, and then of course the Anuswaraha, Nashchapadantasya Jali, then Parasavaranaha, Anuswarasya Parasavaranaha. And then we can take Durada Brumhita, so Brumhitam Shankate, Tachilaha, Shanka plus Nini. So this sutram is 3278. Very famous sutram, used a lot. Like, Shakahari, Ushna Bhoji, also lot of time this is used. So very simple is that when any soup is upapadam and tachilaha, when somebody does that continuously, constantly, regularly as a matter of habit, then this pratyaya nini can be used after any dhatu as long as an upapadam is there. So in this case we have Dvirada Brumhitam Shankate Tachilaha. So of course now this entire samudaya is a samastam padam, which is samasaha. So we get the pradipadika sanya by krita samasascha. So we can remove this by doing supluk. And of course your anubandha lopaha upadeshajana nasika it. And then chutu. So we get Dvirada Brumhita Shank in. And then just make it Shankin. We add the pratyaya su is a prathama ekavachanam. Then we use saucha. Saucha dirghaha. Saucha dirghaha. Again, if you want to practice any of these rules, go to the website and search for them. You'll get this one has been ruled. We have many examples on the website. For example, if you want to look at 6413. 6413, if you just go on the website over here and just punch in 6413, you'll find a lot of hits over here. 6413, let's see. 6413, 6413. Just put 6413 over here and you'll get a lot of examples. You can practice them. Because now, in other words, we'll take a lot of time in the class to go through all of these rules. So which are already on the website in great detail. We're not doing in the class here in detail. So you can see a lot of these, 6413. Oh, okay. Now it's going to, I'm sorry, 6413. Okay, 6413. Okay, I think, let me do this. Let me put a space after that. 6413. Put a space after that. 6413, let's try that. So, unfortunately, it's giving me many more here because it's giving me 6413, 64134, and like that, it's giving me a lot more hits. Anyway, you'll find some examples here. There will be 64134. Here, 6413. Here it is, 6413. So, 6413, Saucha Dirgha. Saucha Dirgha 6413. So anyway, you'll find examples on the website. Okay, so I think that's the verse. So what we have here is that there are two sentences here. That nice sound, it kind of exploded loudly. It emanated loudly by the filling of the water part, in the water of that river, ambas pratipadikam ambas, sakanta pratipadikam, in the water of that river tamasa. And then in that sound, I guess in the direction of that sound, Dasharatha, he released an arrow which was following that sound, Shabdapatinam. But Shabdapatinam, same steps, okay? So Shabdapatinam, the same steps with Shabdapatinam, which is the Shabdena, Shabdanusarena Patati, Tachila Shabdapatin. Only thing here, you have to use Atopadhaya to make it Patin. And we said it can be, as I said to you, this C276 Supya Jato. Doesn't have to be Dvitiya, doesn't have to be Karma. It can be any sup. So here is Tritiya is given over here, Shabdena Patati, Tachilaha, which was constantly following that sound, which was targeting that sound. And then Dasharatha, who was suspecting the trumpeting of an elephant, he released this arrow, which was following the sound. So that's the shloka here. Always the same strategy. Take the verb, then try to expand to the subject and object. Take the adjectives of these if you can, and then connect with the other clauses and the the Tritiya, Chaturthi, Shashti, Panchami, Saptami after that. So don't get lost in the jungle over here. Just take the verb. Take the verb. In fact, this is an exercise you can do in the Gita. Just go through every shloka and just look at the Tingantam Padam. You highlight those because those are the main action words in the sentence, So you can take the whole Bhagavad Gita and just underline all the Tinganta Padani. That will give you like a synopsis, And then you tack on the other pieces. Okay. One thing I remember, by the way, we were just talking about this Samasaha, which is the Sapeksha Samasaha. At that time, remember the normal example which they give over here is Devadattasya Gurukulam. Look at this sentence. Look at this phrase now. Devadattasya Gurukulam. Now, whose kulam is it? Is it the kulam of the guru or Devadatta? It is clearly because Devadatta is sitting outside now. Devadattasya Gurukulam. So technically speaking, Devadatta should connect with the kulam, isn't it? Because he's outside the compound. He cannot connect with the Purupadam of the compound. Say Devadattasya Gurukulam. Now, normally speaking, Devadatta can connect only with the kulam, because Gurukulam is a Tatpurusha Samasaha. The Pradhanyam is in the Uttarapadam. So then we should connect with the kulam, not with the Guru. But it is Gamakatvad, because it is also understood that the Guru is Devadattas, not the kulam. So when these kind of connections are very obvious, at that time we say Sapeksha Samasaha. Okay, let's go to the next verse. See what it says. It says that Hatate kranditam akarnya Vishannastasyan vishan vetasagudham prabhavam saha Shalyaprotam viksha sakumbham muniputram tapadanta shalya ivasi kritipopi. So one more time. Hatateti Kranditam akarnya. Well, the same thing, Kranditam. The same thing, Kranditam. Kranditam akarnya. Kranditam is a scream. It's a scream. Kranditam. So similarly, we have Brumhitam. Kranditam akarnya. Vishannastasyan vishyan. Vetasagudham prabhavam saha. Shalyaprotam viksha sakumbham muniputram tapadanta shalya ivasid kritipopi. Alright, let's see when Kilpazar. You there, Vain? Can you find out the Tingantam Padam here?
This is a lot tougher. Let's see. Ha, tata, iti. This end is the quotation. Right. Kranditam, akarnya, vishannaha, tasya, anvishyan, vetasagudham, prabhavam, saha. There's no Tingantam Padam here. There's nothing here. Shalyaprotam, also not there. Viksha, Sakumham, Muniputram, nothing here, no Tingantam Padam. Tapad, Antashalyaha, Iva,
Asit. Of course, asit we have seen many times.
Yeah.
What's the lakara here, Vin? What's the lakara here?
Lung.
Lung lakara. What is the sutram for the id agamaha? Which sutram for the id agamaha? Any chance?
Yeah, I don't remember the name. No.
Okay, it is the. Then we can go on the website here and look at asit.
Oh, okay.
This is idam udaharanam asit. There was an example. Here is the response for you. Here it is. So you can also cheat on. You can go on you can be looking at the website on your computer. And okay, so asit is all the steps should be given over here. So you take the dhatu as at the lung lakara anudyatane lung anubandha lopaha anubandah. And then itascha because lakara is a git lakara. Kartari shapluk because this is the adadi ganaha. Adiprapratyabhya shvaha. And now comes the id agamaha by asisicho prukte. Because this is the, if you have following the dhatu as or sich pratyaya, aprukta ekar pratyaya, a single letter pratyaya takes the id agamaha. And of course then we finish. Then we get the art agamaha here by adajadinam and make it asit. So this is the important sutram here. Asisicho prukte. In fact, we know the anuvritti of id comes from this one, which is the bruvait, which also is like abravit. Raja vachanam abravit comes in Gita, right? So that id agama has come, bruvait. Okay, so that's what we have. So asit. Now the thing is that if we continue from there, now the subject of asit is who can it be? Kritipaha asit. Kritipaha is kritim, prithvim, bhumim, pati rakshati, iti kritipaha. One who protects the earth. So with this compound we have seen many times, and it is simply this sutram like we saw here. I think I have it here. I'm sorry. By the way, in this text, one verse has been skipped. In Raghuvamsha Kavyam, you have one verse in between here. So one verse has been skipped in this text. So that is verse number 73 has been skipped. 73 has been skipped. So I'm sorry, 74 has been skipped. Verse 74 has been skipped. So go to 75. And if you look at kritipaha. We have it here. Kritipaha is the sutram which is Atonupasarge kaha. So 3 to 3 we have used many times, 3 to 3. So let's see, 3 to 3. Like sutram like over here. Like jalataha. Same jalam dadati ti jalataha. So one which gives water is a cloud. So kritipaha, kritim pati ti kritipaha. So this is upada samasaha. So it says anuvritti of karmani is coming from karmanyan. Anuvritti of karmani is coming. So this is also, you can practice all of these. See, even in today's class, there's nothing really new as such. There's nothing, we are just going back and practicing all these rules. So karmanyan, anuvritti of karmani comes into this one, atunupasarge kaha. And then we just, so in this case, kritim pati. So it is kriti plus plus dhatu pa rakshane, add the pratyaya ka. So upapadam a thing. And then Tatrapadam Saptam is Tham, because Anuvritti of Karmani is coming down from 3 to 1, Karmanyan. So Karmani, so Karma is an Upapadam, so that is the Kriti in this case. And then Atonupasarge Kaha, and because you have the Adanta Dhatu, Parakshane. So then we do the Anubandha Lopaha, Belashakvatadite, and then Ato Lopa Iticha. So this is the Ajadi Pratyaya, which is Kit. So the Adanta Mangam takes Lopaha. Alontyasya, and then of course this takes lopaha because it's inside the compound. So verse through 471. So kritipa, same steps. So kritipaha and asit, he was, and then he has antashalyaha iva asit, kritipaha api. So even the king was as if he had an arrow. he had a dart inside him. He had something poking inside him. So Kritipaha api Antashalyaha iva asid. Antashalyaha, antar is an avyayam. So Antashalyaha. So we'll have to make a simple compound, Bahuri compound here. So Antaha, Shalyaha, one who has something which is biting him, which is poking him, which is hurting him inside. So that will be here. Let's see. Antashalyaha. Antashalyaha. So I can make it say yasya saha. We can also say antaha shalya yasya saha. So yasya anta, inside whom there is a arrow inside whom. Antashalyaha, straight for Bahuri compound. So now we got the basic sentence here is that even the king, he became as if there was something inside him which was hurting him. And why was that? Tapat on account of the I guess the pain, or the tapa really means heat. So here what it means is that his anguish, on account of the anguish. So now comes a couple of, so on account of the anguish, the king also became as if he had something inside him which was troubling him. So it's an arrow inside him. Now there are clauses here. Is viksha and akarnya, two clauses. And then we have anvishyan as an adjective to the kritipaha. Okay, so let's look at this one, viksha. Viksha, of course, dhatu is iksha. Iksh dhatu, upasarga, V is being used. Usual step, you have the pratyaktva being used there. Samana pratyakyoha purvakale, 3-4-21, pratyaktva. And then samasanyang purve ktva lyap, 7-1-37, which we have used many times. So having noticed, iksh is to look at, viksha is to observe. Having noticed, having observed, having inspected, something like that. Whom? Muniputram. So munehe putram muniputram. Having noticed the son of the sage. Sakumbham. So Sakumbha is a straight for Bahuri compound, which is like we have talked about example before. Saputraha pita gacchati. So you can say Sakumbham vartamanam. So one who was with the part. Sakumbhena saha vartate Sakumbha. Sakumbha. So the steps are, sutram here is Sakumbham. Sutram here is Tena saheti tulya yoge. So kumbhena saha vartate. So carry input document. So this sutram is 2-28. Sakumbha is 2-28, which of course we have used many times. So Sakumbha, I'm sorry. Sakumbha. So 2-28. I'm sorry, 2-28. It's a Bahuri compound which can be formation in something. Here it was, Sakumbha, you can say Patitaha, who had fallen with the pot. So the pot and the Muniputra have both fallen down. So that the action, they're participating in the same action. Here, see, the thing is that, Sakumbha is Sutram, which you can go back in your notes and look at this one. Tena saheti tulya yoge. Tulya yoge vartamanam saha. So it's in the sense of common participation in an action. Saha iti etat tritiyantena va samasyate sa bahuvrihi samaso bhavati. So we have, and then we get vopasarjanasya. When Bahuvri compound is a sarvopasarjanaha bahuvrihi. Bahuvri compound, every term is the upasarjana sanya. And then what happens is Saha gets the sa adesha optionally. Again, nothing new. Done this many times. So putrena saha, sahaputraha. Sahaputro saputrava agataha. So same thing over here. So if you want to go and check up your notes, look at 2-28. Tena sahiti tulya yoge, and then vopasarjanasya means the saha takes the sa adesha optionally. We have the upasarjana sanya. And in Bahuri compound, every term is upasarjana sanya. So then what we have so far is that having noticed the son of the sage who had fallen down with the pot, the king, on account of anguish, became as if there was something inside him which was bothering him. And one more adjective, shalya protam. So shalyena protam. Prota is like, comes in Bhagavad Gita. Maisaramidam protam sutre manigana iva. very famous shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Always keep Gita in the back of your mind. So Maisram idam protam. All this idam jagat is kind of interwoven in me. Maisram idam protam sutre manigana iva. So Maisram idam protam sutre. I think chapter 7 maybe I'm thinking. Maisram idam protam sutre maniga. So here is protam. So protam, interesting, is dhatu is weighing. Weighing is to weave. Same in English, vayati is to weave. So same dhatu in Sanskritam as in English. We have weave in English, we have vayati in Sanskritam. Dhatu is weighing. So here, if you take, but then we have to, from that, we have taken to protam. So here we take samprasaranam. So let me just see if I can put this document. This become a large document now. I'm trying to. So ota. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's go ahead. So prota. Okay, so here comes prota. This dhatu takes some prasaranam. When you add the pratyakta, so we get prota. So dhatu is weighing. Tantu santane is to weave. Interwoven. Prota means interwoven. And so we take ve pratyakta. This is simply the sutram nishtha. And then and then taktavatu nishtha. Anubandha lopala shakvatadhyate. Then of course this is a anudatu padesha dhatu. So no idagamaha 7 to 10 stop 7 to 35. And then we get samprasaranam. Because vachi sapi yajadi nam kiti. And then I said yaja, these are the last 9 dhatus in the Vadiganaha. So the last 9 dhatus in the Vadiganaha, which kind of Vadiganaha, vachi sapi yajadi nam kiti. So yajadi are the yajadayaha. Navadhatavaha, which is the yajadi nam kiti. Then this dhatu weighing comes over there. So here it comes. If you say these last 9 dhataha, here is this one. Weighing tantu santani. Take samprasaranam, igyana samprasaranam, and then so we get u, a plus ta, and then of course samprasaranacha. Purupuru ekadesha, we get uta, and pra plus uta becomes prota. Plus of course we get pradisamasa uta. So after seeing the sage's son, who was kind of interwoven, who was basically had been infixed with this arrow. Just interwoven means which arrow has gone inside. So weaved in, who had been weaved in by this arrow. In English, they weaved in by this arrow. And then there's one more clause over here which says that he says ha tata iti. So tata can mean, in this has many meanings. Comes in Bhagavad Gita. Nahi kalyana krit kaschit durgatin tata gacchati. So tata can mean oh dear one, oh friend. It can also mean father, janakaha. In this case it means father. So it means father. I think if you look at the commentary here, I think Mallinatha gives the meaning of tata. So tata he gives ha tata. Tato janakaha. Tatastu janakaha pita iti amaraha. Amar Kosha says tataha janakaha pita. So tata, so it's sense of he pitaha. So pitra pradipita become, so he ha tata. Oh father, it's like that. Oh, iti. Now iti ends the quotation. Obviously ha tata is in the quotation. Of course this is like he Rama, so tata. So this is the English Swasamuddhe 6169. The sakara has gone over here. So it becomes ha tata iti. Kranditam, of course we just traduk, dhatu is krand. Krand is to scream, to yell, to cry loudly, to having the loud cry. Then akarnya, again the same thing as viksha. It's the same thing, you have samakritake purvakale, pratyaktva comes in here by 3:4:21, then by 7:137 comes the lyap adesha by samasingyam purvek tvolyap, the same similar steps over here. Document we have that. So here it is, dhatu is karna bhedane. So karna actually is to pierce, like karna which is to pierce, but akarna is to hear, to listen. So take dhatu karna at the pratyay nich because it's churadi ganaha. So swarthe nich churadibhyo nich anubandha lopaha chitu halantyam, and then we get the akara lopaha by ato lopaha, ardha dhatu ke ato lopaha. Then karani gets the dhatu sanya by sanadhyanta dhatavaha, and the pratyaktva. twa pratyaya samakritiko purvakale form the compound kugati pradayah, then samasanyam purvekatva lyap, and then anekashi sarvasya, and then finally we do the nij lopaha by nirniti anirada vardhatuke pare ne lopasyat, anirada vardhatuke pare ne lopasyat, because this pratyaya lyap cannot take any agamaha, it doesn't begin with a one letter, so then having heard akaranya, and then kranditam dhatu kradi avane roda nature, to scream, to yell out, to shout. So same thing here like we saw in the dhatu shaki. In kradi we have the idit, then numagama comes here after the akara of the dhatu, and we get anubandha lopaha, then anuswaraha naschavarantasya jali, then parasavarnaha anuswarasya parasavarnaha kranda. Again the same napumsake bhavyaktaha. This case we get the idagamaha. So kranditam kroshanam. So dhatu krosha akrosha. Also to the yelling or screaming. Okay. So what we have so far is that having heard the scream saying, "Oh Father," having heard that. No vishannaha, V plus sad. Chapter 1 of Gita, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, right? Vishadaha. To dejected, depressed. So the chapter 1 of Gita is the depression of Arjuna. Depression. As I said to you many times, if you want to check the meaning of a dhat with upasargaha, try all the various forms. So vishidati, vishannaha, vishadaha, so try all the various forms and see what all you get. The word vishada is in the Gita itself. So vishannaha is this participle form. Again, nishtha pratyakta is being used here, but this is now in the active form because he was dejected. It's not like dejected on, so this is to be dejected. So we can use this sutram. Always inspect with nishtha, this kta pratyaha, as we just in the class today. Normally it goes only bhava karmano. Tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha. Tayoreva krityakta 3. So tayoreva krityakta kadartha is 3, 4, 70. But then come Gatyartha karma kashli shashing sthasa vasa jana ruha jiryati bhyashcha. So Gatyartha karmaka. So vishidati is to be dejected. So vishidati means to be dejected. So that is, I think we can take akarmakaha. So it is going to be an active voice. So visharna is active. So in spite of tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha, visharna is active. Now how do you get the form visharnaha? You start with the dhatu sad shadr visharana gatyavasadhaneshu. To be sad is to sit, to sink, but visad is to be depressed, to go down. So sad plus kta, the sishtha, then you have to use this 3, 4, 70 to make it active, because this is a karmaka in this sense. And then anubandha lopaha. Then in the danteshu check the idagama, which is the ekacha upadeshanu dattat. So in nishedha, because any time you have pratyaya which is valadi, idagama. And then idagama means always check for in nisheda. So the moment you check for 7 to 35, always check 7 to 10. And danteshu ada kruda kida chida tuda nuda pada shada sada. So sada is one of the 16 dhatus which are nudattupadeshaha in the danteshu. So that stops the idagamaha. And then we get now this is dakaranta dhatuhu. So radabhyam nishthato naha purvasya chadaha. Radabhyam nishthato naha purvasya chadaha. The hope is if I keep on repeating sutras many times, if I keep on repeating them, I hope that you will also start repeating them in your mind. Radabhyam nishthato naha purvasya chadaha. So if your dhara becomes nakaraha and the prior dakara becomes nakara also, radabhyam nishthato naha. So nishtha takarasya nakaradeshaha, purvasya chadakarasya nakaradeshaha. Becomes sanna. Now we sanna, so that we from sanna. So both this dakara and the takara become nakara disha. Radabhyam nishthato naha purvasya chadaha. You form the kugati pradeha with sanna. And then now the thing, the problem here is that, this sakaraha, when you form this compound over here, right? Now we need to make something as this special sutram here. If padadi sakaraha, right, does not take the shattam, because adesha pratyayoho. You want to use adesha pratyayoho. In this case, it might work because, okay, let's go back. Let's go through 8366. What it says is that Sadira Pratehe 8366 that if there is a nimittam in the upasargaha, then following that is the sakara of dhatu, the shadru. It takes the murdhanya adeshaha. Anurutya mudhana is coming here as long as the upasarga is not prati. So now here we upasarga V we have, and that, I mean, we have V, I'm sorry for the pun, but we have the upasarga V. And here we have the ikara, which is the in letter. So then we should be able to use adesha pratyayo. But specific sutram Panini says that sadira pratehe is that if they, but then why do we need that? Why do we need that? Here we actually don't need that really. Because that is only, why do we need sadira pratehe? Because why can't we just use adesha pratyayo? Don't forget the dhatu par was shadlu. So we used the dhatu adesha. So this sakara of sad is now an adesha. It's an adesha. So we can definitely use adesha pratyayo. But then why do we need 8366 sadira pratehe? The problem is that if we had a padam like sidati, the shattam would have been stopped by sat padadyoho. Okay, so one more time. We keep it continuous. But then there is a nisheda sutra which says sat padadyo, a padadi sakaraha. A padadi sakaraha does not take the murdhanya adesha. So if we're like visidati, it would not become vishidati unless you have 8366. You understand that? Because 8359 adesha pratyayoho would have been stopped by 83111 satpada. Sadira pratehe. Upasarga nimittam is there. Still, even if the sakara is padadi, still it will take, if it's a sakara of the dhatu shadru, it will take the murdhanya adesha as long as the upasarga is not prati. Sadira pratehe. Right now, we don't need that. We don't need that. Because the gati samasaha, gati karaka upapadanam, samasa vachanam, praksubutpattehe. What means that the gati samasa, this which we formed here now, kugati pradayaha, that is done before you put a supratyaya over here. So this sun is not a padam as yet. This sun is not a padam as yet. So we can actually just use 8359 here. We don't need to really go to 8360 because the reason why 8366 is necessary, it is necessary in places like Vishidati. In fact, let's look at 8366. Let's see what example that we'll go through one more time. 8366 is saying that sadira pratehe arasya upasarga sthan nimittat apratehe uttarasya murdhanyadashavati, like nishidati vishidati. Now here the sidati is a padam. So if we did not have the sutram 8366, then the shattam would have been stopped. By 83111, which is says sat padadyoho. So I'm sorry, 83111. So the important sutram is 83111 sat padadyoho. So we have tried to apply the adesha pratyayoho, but in sat padadyoho, if you have padadi sakaraha, then we cannot do the murdhanya adeshaha. So then we need 8366 sadira pratehe in the form vishidati. But in our case, what happens is that the padam is created here. So we don't need 8366 here because, I mean, 8366 is available, but we can just make do with this one, adesha pratyayoho, because right now the sun is not a padam. So there's no question of 83111 stopping the shattam over here. Understand that? So we do not need 8366 over here. We do not need this. We can manage with adesha pratyayoho. This one is only required if you have padadi sakara, like in sidati. Now we cannot use adesha pratyayoho because 8311 would stop that. Then you need 8366, but right now we can just do 8359. These are all the settled points now. We come to the end of the book right now, so these are all the settled points which you have to notice and understand. So, and the important sutram is remember sat padadyoho. Remember 83111 sat padad. That's the lesson to be learned here. which doesn't interfere right now with us because we did never form the padam over here. First we make the samasa, then form the padam. But in other circumstances, when we have a padam like sidati, make it vishidati, that time you will need this. Okay, so I hope you understood that sequence. And of course, once we get that, then we get the anattam because of rashabhyam, the notaha samana pade. So becomes, so that's why, and then at kupmani vayapi, so we have to use 842 at kupmani vayapi. So rashabhyam nonas samanapade at kupmani vayapi. So that's this nakara, this first nakara takes the nakara adeshaha, and then we do shtunashtuhu. See, after the first nakara becomes a nakara, we cannot use the same sutram 842 again on the second nakara, because at that time now we have the intervention of the nakara. Because at ku pu ang num vyavayapi. So this nakara, this first one, that can take the nakara desha by 842. At kup ang num vyavayapi. But the uttaravarti nakara cannot do that because the intervention is here. So the only letter which allowed to intervene, the only letters which allowed to intervene are at, ku, pu, and ang. This nakara now is a kavarga or pavarga. So then we have to do shtunashtu after that. You understand? So first apply 842. For the purvarti nakara, make it nakara. And then apply shtunashtu and make the vishannaha. So vishannaha. See a single word like that, see how much it can teach you. So vishannaha means depressed. So being depressed, then he became troubled from inside. There's one more clause is anvishyan. Of course, this is like pashyan, shunman, srishan, jigran, nashnan, gatsan. Is a vartamana krudantaha present participle like gachan, pachan, pashyan, shunvan, anvishyan. So this dhatu is also divadiganaha, divadibhyashyan dhatu, yushagatau. But anvish is to kind of to follow, to search for, to seek. So yishagatau, but anvish is to seek, to follow, to find out. So add a pratyaya, let vartamani, let. And of course a famous sutram, 3-24, the present participle, let us shatrishana chava prathama samana adhikarane. So rather than adding tiptajji, substituting by tiptajji, etc., we can make a participle form. We can make a present participle by putting the shatrishana. Now left parasmay padam, tangana vatmane padam. This dhatu is parasmipadi, so we get the pratyashan, pratyashatru. And now one more thing is that this sutram says 3-1-24, which also we discussed in the class many times, is that it says apratama samadhikarane, but in anvishan we have pratama samadhikarane, and then we have discussed in the class previously. See, in today's class, nothing really new, all just practice. There's nothing new in today's class. So this lat iti vartamane, this is the joke, right? Lat iti anuvartamane. From the sutram vartamane lat comes the anuvartanam of lat into the next sutram. But still Panini again says lataha. So that means kvachit pratamadi samadhikarana. That's taken as an excuse to use this shatru shanach kvachit sometimes. Pratama samadhikarane api. So sometimes you can use the present participle also in the nominative case. So here we have that. So, and in Gita, I said the shloka in 7th chapter 5, Pashyan, Shunman, Svishan, Jigjan, Nashtan, Gachan, Sapanchasan. All of them Pratama Samadhikarane. So then, now here we have, now why did we not use the issue Gami Yamam Chaha? Because that is for issue. This is a different dhatu. This is Isha Gatau. That issue is in the Tudadiganaha. That's a different one. So if you look at these dhatus, there are two of them of the form ish. This dhatu ish comes in two forms. This dhatu ish comes in two forms. One is in the divadiganaha, and one is so that is a type of ichayam. So that is the one which is subject to ishu gami yamam chaha. Is the issue ichayam, not this one. So otherwise you have to make the chakara deshaha. But that is not happen for this dhatu. That's for the tudadiganaha. Taudadikaha ish, not the Divadigana dhatu. So not the Daivadikaha, but the Taudadikaha. So this one does not take issue Gamiyamam Chaha, because that refers to the Tudadigana dhatu ish. And then of course we get the Gana Vikaranaha, Shan comes in there. Oh, this is a typo over here, I'm sorry. This should be in the Divadibhyashan. Divadibhyashan. I think this is 3169, I think. Divadibhyashan. Yeah, 3160 is the typo here. This is 3169, please. Divadibhyashan. And then, of course, Anubandha Lopaha. And then Atogane Ishyat. Ishyat, we make Pratama Ekvachanam, we get Vidacham Sarvanamasthanya, Dhatoho, Numagama, etc. Because this Shatru is an Ugit. Ugit. So Anvichan means seeking. Seeking what? Seeking. So Anvishan is Samadhikarana with Kritipaha. The king who was seeking. Seeking what? Prabhavam. Prabhavam. Seeking the origin. Then Tasya. Tasya Prabhavan. Prabhavam. No, Tasya again a pronoun. So always qualify whose sound. Whose. Tasya is Kranditasya. What Mulinatha says. Tasya Kranditasya Prabhavam Anvishan. Anvishan. So seeking out the origin, the source of that yell, of that scream. And then we have so Tasya Kranditasya Prabhavam Anvishan. Then Vetasagudham. Vetasagudham. Vetas is like these cane, reed, like this tall grass. Vetasagudham is like this tall grass. Look at Apteji for a second for Vetasa. So it was Gudham. Chinnam is Vetagudham is Channam, which was concealed by this tall reeds. So okay, let's look at Vetasa for 1 second. Vetasagudham is Vetasagudham. So Vetasa is let's see, Vetasaha. It is the reed or a cane, so it's tall reeds. So Vetasaihi Gudham, Vetasagudham. So what does the sentence become now? The sentence becomes that the king also, on hearing the scream that, "Oh Father," being depressed and looking for the source of that scream, which was concealed by the reeds, having noticed the son of the sage who was with the pot, with the pitcher, and had been interwoven by the arrow, the king became as if he had an arrow inside him on account of the anguish. Okay, to complete some Vyakaranam, now we can look at the some Vyakaranam here. What else do we have left here? So Shalyena Protam, Shalya Protam, straightforward. Then I think one more thing I put over here is Vetasaihi Gudham, Vetasagudham. Now, okay, now Dhatu is Guhu Samvarane. Guhu is to conceal, Samvarane. So Guha. And the pratyakta, same thing all the time, nishtha, and taktavatu nishtha. Now what happens is this dhatu is an udit dhatu. This is something we studied in the class, is that udit dhatu basically is a weight dhatu. It allows ida agamaha only optionally because of the sutram 4. Swarati, suti, suyati, dhui uditova. Dhui uditova. So dhui uditova. So an udit dhatu va. Ilagama optionally. And when that happens, remember yasya vibhasha. If a dhatu allows idagama optionally anywhere, then it does not allow idagama for the nishtha pratyaya. Very important shrutam, yasya vibhasha. One more time, is if a dhatu vibhasha allows idagama optionally in any circumstance, then that dhatu will not allow idagama for the nishtha pratyaya. So therefore, because an udit dhatu guhu samvarane, so then by the swarati, suti, suyati, dhui uditova becomes, it is optionally allows idagama. So then by yasya vibhasha we get in nishedha. So then what we get is Of course, so idagama is stopped by this yasya bhasha, and then anubandha lopaha, then hodhaha chalipadante, then jashas tathor dhodha, jashas tathor dhodha, because this is a jash letter, chaturtha varnaha, so this takara becomes dhakara deshaha, and then we get stunashtuhu, good, da, then dhodhe lopaha, so dhakarasya lopa, dhakare pare. Of course, we are coming. Remember that this dhakara adesha should have been asiddha for dhodhe lopa. If dhodhe lopa is not allowed to see the shtutvam, then it will become vyartham. So therefore, dhodhe lopa is allowed to see the dhakar, the shtutvam, dhakara adesha done by shtunashtu, which is a later rule in Ashtadhyayi. In the Tripadi section, the shtunashtu is a later rule, is a parakarya. Should be asiddham because of purvatra siddham, but because vachana samarthyat, dhodhe lopa is allowed to see the shtutvam. Then same thing vachana samarthyat, the dha lope purva se dirghornaha, which is a sapada saptadhyaya section, that also is allowed to see dhodhe lopaha because it talks about dha lope purva se dirghornaha. So the dha lopaha only takes place in the Tripadi section. So unless you allow the 63111 to see the dhakara atva dhakara lopa atva refa lopaha, it will become useless. So therefore, this dha lope purva se dirghornaha is allowed to see dhodhe lopaha and rori. So that's it. I mean, of course, it's nothing new again. Done this in the class many times. So these two rules are allowed to be seen by dha lope purva se dirghornaha to get the form gudha. So gudha is channaha, is which was covered by. Now prabhavaha comes in Gita. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha mattassaram pravartate iti mattva bhajante ma mudha bhava samanvitaha. Always keep Bhagavad Gita in your mind at all times. So chapter 10, aham sarvasya prabhavo mattassaram pravartate. So prabhavaha. Now this is, of course, prabhava is an origin. By the way, compare this one. This is an abstract noun, origin, source, not to be confused with what we saw before. Before we saw this form right here, which is the kumbha purna bhavaha. No, that was the pachadyacha. That is not the bhave. While this one is bhave, prabhavaha. You understand that? So even though the same form, bhavaha, but this is pachadhyach, it is somebody who's becoming, who's originating from. Well, this prabhava is origin or source. So here we have to go to the section of bhave, then akarta chakara ke sanyayam, which is coming over here. Ashtadhyayi in 3.3, in 3.3, 18, 19, we are coming over here, and there we have the pratyaya ghai, which is the default. But then comes rudorap. So if you have a rukaranta dhatu or a uvarnanta dhatu, in this case dhatu bhu is an uvarnanta, the pratyaya up comes, apavada for ghai. But then how do you get the form bhavaha then? Because bhavaha is also a form. Then that time why don't you get bhavaha? Of course, this is also we seen in the class before. The sutra which comes here is, if there is a sutra which says Shrini Bhuvan Upasarge. If there is no upasargaha, then this dhatu bhu will again take the pratyaya ghai. So in spite of, so one more time, the ghai is default, okay? But rudo rap is an apavadaha. Dhatu ending in a rukaranta or a uvarnaha, then pratyaya up is going to come. But then how do we get the form bhava? So we can get prabhava from here. So prabhava we can get from here. So this is the prabhava of the word prabhava. This is the origin of the word prabhava. We can get from rud or up. But then how about the word bhavaha then? We'll not get bhavaha. So for that you have to use sutram, which is now like a counter exception. It's a counter exception. So first we had coming ghai as default. Then comes rud or up. And then comes the counter exception for these particular dhatus. This dhatu bhu will now Shrini bhuvo nupasarge. There's no upasargaha, then bhu takes the pratyaya ghai because bhava. Anyway, right now we have upasargaha, so we have to just use the rudo rap because this 3324 does not apply. we had upasarga pra. Of course, then we get, once you do that, anubandha lopaha, then sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho, then echo yava yavaha prabhavaha. Okay, so now let me read you the meaning from the Professor Devada's book. He has pretty good translation there. So let me see how he has done that. So chapter 9, and this is verse number I think 75, right? We said 75. So chapter 9, verse 75. So what he has done is that he has taken O Father, so he tata, is in quotation, that's the iti. He heard the cry. So having heard akarnya kranditam, having heard the cry. And grief stricken, vishannaha. He sought to find, is anvishyan, seeking. Its source, tasya kranditasya prabhavam, saha, he. Among the reeds, which was concealed by the reeds, when discovering is viksha, having noticed, having seen, having observed, having discovered, a sage's son, munehe putram, muniputram shashti samasaha. With jar in hand is Sakumbham, who's with the jar, transfixed by his shaft. The transfixed is protam. Shallena protam. Shallena protam is this sutam. Sutam means like interwoven by this shaft. The king is kritipaha. 2 is api. Through pain is tapad. Felt as if a dart had lodged inside his heart. So antashalyaha. So hridaye shalyaha iva asit. So one who has a shaft, so he also become as if he had a dart lodged inside him. Okay, I mean these are a little bit, I don't want to rush too much, even though we're practicing because this class is going to end in a few weeks. So now we've been here for so many years. I can go a little bit faster and skip all these things, but let's do some practice. And this class is coming to an end in a few weeks now, so let's at least record some of these practice, so it will be useful later on. So I know we can go a little bit faster if you want, but I'd rather go a little bit slow and record some of these things. So okay, so next shloka. Tenavatirya turagat pasitanvayena prishtanvayaha sa jalakumbha nishanya deha tasmai dvijetara tapasvi sutam skaladbhiratmanam aksharapadaihi kathayam babhuva. So tenavatirya turagat patitanvayena prishtanvayaha sa jalakumbha nishanya deha tasmai dvijetara tapasvi sutam skaladbhiratmanam aksharapadaihi kathayam babhuva. Okay, very easy one for you. Tinganda padam is?
Yeah, babhuva.
Kathayam babhuva. Yeah, babhuva really. Kathayam babhuva. Of course, this anuprayoga lit, which you have seen many times. Anuprayoga lit. I mean, we have seen kathayam asa a few times. So we just go on here. So we won't. If you want to practice this one, it'll take a long time in the class to again go through all the steps. But I'll just give you the kathayamasa is we have seen the same steps. Instead of using dhatu as, you have kathayam babhuva in this case. So kathayam, here is darshayamasa, same steps as So here is the, so kathayam, I think we have kathayamasa also a few times. So we have this, in fact we may have it here, kathayamasa. Anyway, so this is the same steps, so you take the dhatu katha. So in this case, the katha belongs to the, in fact, I'm sure we have this, give me 1 second. We've done this in the, give me 1 second. If I can give you the kathayamasa steps, because I can go through the comments and search the comments for kathayamasa. I'm pretty sure we've done kathayamasa at least. So, yeah, kathayamasa. So, kathayamasa. Okay, kathayamasa, and here we have the steps of kathayamasa. Let's see. Yeah, kathayamasa. So kathayamasa is, we take the dhatu katha. It is dhatu katha, adanta dhatu. The last 100 dhatus are about in the churadigana adanta dhatavaha. So then what we do is that we add the pratyaya nich by swarte nich and do atolopaha. But after that we don't apply the atopadhaya because of this sutra which says that achah prasin pura vidhao. Achah prasin pura vidhao. The lopaha which is done by atolopaha has sthanivat bhavaha. It behaves as if it is still there. So the akara is as if still there in the eyes of Nich, which wants to do the atopadhaya. So basically the achaprasin pura vidhau, it gives the sanivat bhava for the akara lopaha, and therefore atopadhaya, when it comes, it sees the akara still being there. So it regards the upada as a thakara. So basically atopadhaya is stopped. Then we get kathi, and once you get kathi, the steps are the same as in darshayamasa. Steps are in darshayamasa. Only thing here is that by achaprasin pura vidhau. So once we get the form kathi, then just follow all these same steps. Kathi plus lit, then am comes here, anekash dhatu. So kasyanekacha am vaktavyo liti. Then we get the amadeshaha, ayadeshaha by ayamantal va yet vishnushu, and then normally we should have had niruniti anida da varzake pare ne lopasyat, but in this case we get amadeshaha, and then we get darshayam, in this case kathayam, and after that we get the krinchanuprajatelity. So we get the bhu plus lit, and then we get kathayam babhuva. So if you want to practice this, you can go on the website. So simple sentences, that is the saha muniputraha kathayam babhuva. The son of the sage narrated tasmai so kshitipaya, tasmai rajni kshitipaya. So he narrated unto the king. So tasmai rajni, so unto the king he narrated. And what did he narrate? Is that dvijetara tapasvi sutam, that he told him that I am a tapasvi sutam. Tapasvi sutam is tapasvinaha sutam. I am the son of a tapasvi. I am a son of an ascetic. But the ascetic is dvijetara. So dvijebhya itaraha. So he is other than a dvijaha. Dvijaha, of course, is a twice born. Dvijaha we have done a few times in the class already. So let's go to this dvijetara tapasvi sutam. So dvijetara tapasvi sutam is derived over here. We have the so dvijetara tapasvi sutam is so dvijebhya itaraha is dvijetaraha. So this is a panchami samasaha by 72137. Now again, what happens with panchami samasa is that Panini has a restrictive authority, gives strict authority for panchami samasa, but we can extend that. So panchami bhayena Panini says, and then gives some other things here for panchami. So panchami Panini only has these three rules over here. So we cannot form the samasa dvijebhya itaraha from that. So but we can use anuvritti of bahulam. So we can use bahulam along with panchami to form a panchami. So dvijebhya itaraha, so one who's other than a dvijaha. Okay, and then tapasvinaha sutaha. Tapasvi sutaha means straightforward. Shashti samasaha. Only thing here is tapasvin. We get tapasvin plus nyas plus suta plus su. Then tapasvin gets the, of course, we get the supluk by supo dhatu pradipatikayoho. But then by pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam suptingantam padam, the tapasvin gets the padasanya because it got the pratyaya nyas which took lopaha. Look. By the, so if you look at the alaukika vigraha vakyam of this, become tapasvin nyas suta su. Then after that we use the supo dhatu pradipatikayo supluk. Supluk by 2471. But Pratyelopi Pratyilakshanam Suptingantam Padam. So even after Supluk, the Tapasvin gets the Padasanya, Pratyilakshanam. And then we get No Lopaha Pratipadhikantasya. So the Tapasvin become Tapasvi Sutaha. Tapasvi Sutaha. So here we have to use 827. And then we have between Dvijayatara and Tapasvi Suta, we formed a Karmadharya compound. Dvijayatarascha Tapasvi Sutascha. Interesting thing now is that is the Dvijayatara qualifying the Tapasvi only or also Suta? Because we could have, because interesting thing is that we can make a Karmadharya compound here between the Dvijayatara and the Tapasvi first, and then form a compound with the Suta. So we could have said Dvijayatarasya Tapasvinaha Sutaha. That's one choice. The second choice is that we can make Tapasvi Suta as a compound first, make Dvijayatara as a compound, and then make Dvijayatara as qualifying the Suta. You understand that? So here we have a choice over here. How we break the brackets. So what do you think, Vin? What's the good thing to do over here? Which one you want to do? You want to make Dvijayatara as qualifying only Tapasvi, or you want to Dvijayatara as qualifying the Suta?
Because of the sequence, I have to think it qualifies the Tapasvi.
But Mulinatha does it otherwise. Dvijayatarascha so Tapasvi Sutascha. So he takes it as qualifying Suta.
The Tapasvi is Dvija, then the Suta, I think.
No. First of all, Dvijayatara is fixed now. Dvijayatara. So that cannot be broken. So this cannot be broken now. So this one is fixed, is one unit now. Dvijayatara. The only thing is, do we connect that to Tapasvi only or Suta only?
Right.
The thing is that looking at the story here, Vain, is that Dasharatha was really afraid that he had done is the Brahmatya.
Right.
So that's why the son tells him, "Don't worry, I'm not a Dvijaha."
Right.
So it's critical to therefore from the story to connect Dvijayatara with the Suta, because she's telling him that don't worry, I'm not a Dvijaha. So therefore the Suta is the one who's being killed right now, not the Tapasvi.
True.
So it's important to make sure that his purpose of telling him that, the purpose of the Uddesha is that to tell him that I'm not a Dvijaha.
Right.
So therefore from the context we have to make Dvijayatara, because otherwise there's no point in saying I'm the son. So he's making it as the adjective to Suta. And then he gives all the things, who is who, the Tapasvi. I guess the Tapasvi, the thing is that the Tapasvi was a Vaishya. So he was a Dvija. His wife is a Shudri. So Vaishya tu Karanaha is called Karanaha. Shudryam. So this actually the Tapasvi was a Dvija, but his son is not. So even from the story, so from both these things, the facts of the story are such that the Tapasvi was a Dvija, the son was not. His mother was not a Dvija. So now that's one thing. Second thing is that the whole objective of the narration is to tell him that I'm not a Dvija. So I mean, from the Vyakaranam, we have a choice. There's no doubt. In fact, if I did not know the story, I would probably turn it to Tapasvi first only.
Right.
I would probably, not knowing any context, I'd probably have gone straight and said Dvijayatara Tapasvi and then Tasya Sutaha.
It's not grammatical, but grammatically
even the other one is not bad. It's grammatically not wrong.
Right.
But in terms of choice, I think I would have taken it first, Dvijayatara Tapasvi as one compound, then mix it up.
Would Dasharatha have gotten Brahmahatya dosham had he?
Because that's he's telling him, I'm not a Dvija. So Dvija Hatya. He says, don't worry, I'm not a Dvija. So Dvija Hatya you don't have. So that's the whole purpose. In fact, he makes the commentary or says Kutaha Brahmahatya. So Tathacha, he says, in fact, if you read Mulat's commentary, he tells him that let me see, let me give you the right word. Brahmahatya krutam papam hridayad apani. So this is in the Ramayana, okay? Brahmahatya krutam papam hridayad apaniyatam. So don't worry, don't think you're in Brahmahatya. Na dvijatir aham. Na dvijatir aham. I'm not a dvijati. Rajan. Ma bhute manaso vyatha. So don't let your mind not be worried. I'm not a dvijati. It's amazing. He's dying right now. He's dying. He's telling him, don't worry, you don't have Brahmatya. He says, Shudrayam asmi vaishyena jataha jana padadipa. So I am born, my mother is a Shudri, and my father is a Vaishyaha. So I'm not only not a Brahman, I'm not a Dvija also, he says. So it is. So anyway, that's the story. So anyway, interesting point in Vyakarana. You have a choice over here, but depending on from the context, it is taken as, so the way that Mulinatha is taken is that which is correct from the context. Dvijetarascha sau tapasvi sutascha. So he is Dvijetara, he is tapasvi sutaha. So he makes it like that. Okay. I mean, these are some of the fine points you can notice. Now, the word Dvija we've done many times in the class. The word Dvija itself. So Dvirjataha Dvijaha. So Dvijaha is we've done, and again we won't do it again in today's class, but if you want to practice your prior classes, so Dvijaha, Dirjataha Dvijaha, let's see, we have had this before, Dirjataha Dvijaha, no, we have this in the class before. This is the pratyaya da. The da pratyaya has been added. So dvija. Here is dvirjataha dvijaha. This upapadam, I think, and then we cannot use saptamyam janirdaha. We have to use the sutram 3.2.101. Anyeshvapi drishyate. It's an extension. So basically the dhatu jan, taken the pratyaya da, but with the upapadam as dvir. Dvir is not a, see, because we have these rules, right? Saptamya, that's not dvir. So dvivaram jataha. So panchamyam, but we can use the extension sutram anyeshupi drishyate. If you can look at your prior notes, look at 3.2.101, pratyaya da, and so dvijaha, dvijataha. So same thing we are having over here. Of course, once you get the pratyaya da, you get the t lopaha, sutram tehe, ditva samarthya bhasyapi ter lopaha. So 3.2.101. Okay, so that's the, so what do we have so far? So what we have so far is that we have the Kathayam Babhuva. So he said to him that I am other than a Dvijaha, and I am the son of a ascetic. Tasmai Rajne. Unto the king he narrated that. And then Skaladbhi. So first was Atmanam Dvijetara Pasvisutam Kathayam Babhuva. So he narrated that Atmanam, that his own self, that he himself, Atmanam means he was, that Atmanam was not a Dvijaha, and he was son of an ascetic. And then Skaladbhi Padaihi. Skull is to stammer, to trip, by tripping accents. Skalad, because he was, Mutaprayaha. He was on the verge of death. Asanna Maranaha. So Skaladbhi Padaihi, by words which were stammering, which were tripping accents. Then he says Akshara Padaihi. Now how did Akshara Padaihi? Because the words were just like letters. So Akshara Prayahi Padaihi. This is like the Parthiva, I mean Shaka Parthiva. Shaka Priya Parthiva. Akshara Praya Padaihi. So these words were basically just letters. So he told him in stammering accents, using words which were just almost like letters. He told him that he himself was not a Dvijaha, and but he's son of an ascetic. And now before that we have a something qualifying that Muniputraha. So Saha, then Jala Kumbha Nishanya Deha, straightforward compound. Jala Kumbha Nishanya Deha is basically is, if you look at, I put the here over here, Jalakumbha. So Jalasya Kumbha. I can say, so this is the pot for water. So here it is. Jalena Bharitaha Kumbha. Okay, we can take it also as a Shaka Parthiva. So Jalapurita, Jalabharita Kumbha. So it was a water pot just filled with water. We just say water pot. So I think we could make it take Jalasya Kumbha. Or I can say Jalapurita Kumbha, Jalabharita Kumbha. Again, make it like a Shaka Parthiva. Shaka Parthiva means that Shaka Priya Parthiva becomes Shaka Parthiva. Like we say, computer guy in English. I said the example many times. He's a tennis guy, tennis loving person, computer knowing person. So the same thing when the Uttarapadam of the Purvapadam is dropped, it's Spashtam. So therefore, Jala Bharita Kumbha, Jala Kumbha. Then, so this is the Vartikam. Uttarapada Lopasya Upasankyanam under 2160. And then Jalakumbhe Nishannaha. So same thing we had Vishannaha, same thing Nishannaha. So Patitaha, Dehaha Yasyasaha. So one whose body had fallen on the water pot. So that's the Muniputraha. It's a Bahuri compound. So first we can form the Jala Kumbha. Then Jala Kumbhe Nishannaha. So Dehaha Yasyasaha. So one whose body had fallen on the water pot. Then Prishtanvayaha. So Prishtaha Anvayaha Yasyasaha. So one whose lineage, so Dasharatha was afraid that who is this? He looks like the son of an ascetic. So he was terrified that he may be, a ascetic himself. So what he said, so he asked him that what is your, lineage? Anvayaha. So Anvaya can mean a connection. So here also the Bahubari compound, it says Prishtaha, Anvayaha, Yasyasaha. So one whose lineage has been questioned, one whose ancestry has been questioned. So Anvaya, I think, is Kulam. Like, this connection means his lineage, his line. So Prishtaha Anvayaha Kulam Yasyasaha. So he who was asked about his family background, he whose body was fallen on the water pot, he narrated to the king saying that I'm not a Dvijaha, I'm the son of an ascetic. So Prishtaha dhatu is pracha. Pracha is nipsayam, to question. Nipsayam jnatum ichchayam, to know, desire to know, to question. Now you have same thing, Prishtaha, the same nishtha pratyakta taktavatu nishtha, and in chanteshu is only one dhatu, is pratyekaha, only one single dhatu in the chanteshu, which anudattupadesha. Dattupadesha is only one single dhatu in the chanteshu. So here we have pratyeka is one single dhatu pracha, which anudattupadesha. Then of course, as usual, 7 to 10, stop 7 to 35. Then we get the samprasaranam, because grahijya vai. So that's 6116, because today we had the form prota we had. So similarly here we have grahijya vai vyadhi vashti vichati rishchati prichati. So this dhatu pracha takes samprasaranam for by kiti or niti, because cha, so chakar bala kiti api, so kiti niti cha. So you have to have your kit pratyaya. So in the re part takes the rikara desha. Of course, samprasaranacha becomes prish, so it becomes prichta. Then of course so that is 8 to 36. Vrashcha, srija mrija. Srija mrija. Yajaraja, brajashchasham. So this chakara, with the chakara takes the shakara desha, jalipadante. So vrashchetisha, vrashcha, srija mrija, yajaraja, brajashchasham. So we get the chakara desha, and then of course tunashtu prishta. So prishta. Okay, nothing new, all rules. So Prishtaha Anvayaha Yasyasaha. So that's qualifying the Muniputraha. And now he was asked by whom? Tena Rajnya. So Tena, from the prior shlokaha, with the connection with Tena. So tena means so tena pratitanvayena. So it says rajnya. So rajnya. So by he was asked. So this again this prishtaha is connecting with the tena. Again, this could be a sapeksha samasa. The prishtaha should be raja prishtanvayaha. So rajnya prishtanvayaha, which is sitting outside. So tena prishtaha. So rajnya prishtaha. Now that raja has a qualifier also. Patitanvayena. This is like the kavyam going on. Kavyam. So this king who had a famous lineage. So Dasharatha himself, he came from a famous family. So patitaha. Prath is to be famous, to be well known. So same Vigraha Vakyam here, which is Prathitaha Anvayaha Yasya Saha. So this is the Kavyam going on here now. So the king who had a well-known lineage or a family background, Vamshaha. So that's a Gumsha, right? That's what we're studying today. So the king who had a famous lineage, so being questioned by the king who had a famous lineage, the boy then narrated to him. Now there's a small clause here, is Turagad Avatirya. So this is qualifying now whom? Be careful here now. Because of course Avatirya same pratyaktva, samanakritikyo purvakale. It has become a little bit confusing when you have a passive usage. So be careful. Find out who's doing the second action. That same person must be in the first action. So we have Prishtaha. Is a passive form. So tena rajnya prishtaha. Now who's questioning? Clearly the king is questioning. The king is because he's afraid that he may have killed, Dvijaha. So he's afraid. So he is questioning the boy. So he must be the same person who's doing the prior action of this avatirya. So having descended from his horse, Turagaha. Turagaha again I think we had in the prior class, Turagaha. So here it is the, so I think we had Turangamaha where we can do the form Avatirya. Dhatu is through, is to cross, to swim, to flutarati, to go across. But Avatru should descend, Avataraha, to descend, to come down, So Plavanatarana yoho, to float, to swim, to jump, or to cross. So you got the Pratyaktva, same thing all the time. Samakritikyo Purvakale. But remember, who is the Karta? Who is the same Karta as the next action? It's the Raja. It's not the Muniprittaha. Be careful. The Prushta is a passive form. So questioned by the king. Having descended from the horse. So the king is descending from the horse, not the boy. Because he is questioning. So in the passive you have to be careful. You have to make sure you understand who is the Samana Karta. And of course same thing that you take the Lyapa Adeshaha when you form the compound. And now because this is the Sthanivat Bhavaha. The Sthanivat Adesha Bhirav, this Lyap is a Kit Pratyaha. So no Guna Adeshaha. Then Anuji's favorite sutram, which is the, of course, Anubandha Lopaha, Halantyam Dashakutadite. And then we do Ruta Idhatoho. Ruta Idhatu. Because Gunadesha has already been started by the Kiniticha. Because Lyap came in place of Ktwa. Ktwa is a Kit. So by Sthanivat Nal Vidhav, the Lyap is also Kit. So no Gunadesha. Then we do the Ruta, because otherwise we cannot apply 71100. Remember that. You have to always check that. Before applying 71100, you have to check the Gunadesha. The Gunadesha is Parakaryam. That's in 7.3. That will take precedence. So first check the Guna or Vruddhya Adesha. Only if that is stopped, remember it's a very important thing, only if that is stopped, then only you can Rutre Dhatoho. We get the Urandra Paraha, and then Halicha, Dirgha Avatirya. So you want to practice some rules, Rutre Dhatoho, then Halicha. Because you have the Refa of a Dhatuhu, followed by a Hal. The prior Ik takes Dirgha by Halicha. And now this Turangamaha we had, see Turagaha. See Turena, Tvaraya Gacchati, Turagaha. Turena, Tvaraya Gacchati, Turagaha. So here we need the Pratyaya Da we need again. So same thing, we either use the Vartikam on 3248 or the Vartikam on 32101, which we use in the form Dvijaha. So Anyeshu Vidrishyate. So we can extend this use the domain of the Pratyaya Da. The domain of Da can be extended to variety of circumstances. So we can say Turena, Tvaraya Gacchati. So one which moves fast. We had Turangamaha priorly. Remember, don't forget that we had Turangamaha. When we had Turangamaha, at that time we used the different Pratyaha. different pratyaya. So right now we're using 3 to 48. So that time we use a pratyaya, we use kach that time. We get turangamaha. Now using pratyaya da, either by the vartikam on 3 to 48 or a vartikam on 3 to 101, either one can be used. Then of course turena, so tura plus ta plus gam plus da. Then of anubandha lopa by chutu, then the supluk, and then we get the t lopaha by ditva samartya, the bhasyapi todla, because sutram tehe, the bhasyadhikaraha. Angam doesn't have bhasanya right now, but the dit karanam, the fact that the prani has put daka as an it, can only have one prayojanam. So ekam prayojanam sambhavati. So in spite of the fact angam does not have the bhasanya, we do t lopaha because of the ditva samartya, then we get turagaha. So turangamaha we used 3 to 47. Turagaha we used 3 to 48 vartikam, 3 to 101 vartikam. Okay. So the meaning now becomes that the boy whose family background was questioned by the king of a famous family background himself, the king who had descended from his horse, the boy whose body was lying on the water part, he narrated to the king of him being not a Dvijaha and the son of an ascetic. He narrated that in stammering accents, using words which were just basically letters. If, let me read the, I know time is up. So dismounting is avatirya. From his horse is turagata. The high descended king is the Pratitanvayena Rajnya, by the king. Asked is the Prishtaha. He's making it active, which is very passive. Asked. His race, Prishtanvayaha, Muniputraha. So one who was questioned about his family background. So propped against his jar. So Jalakumbha Nishanna Deha. With faltering words, Akshara Padaihi, Akshara Prayahi Padaihi, Shakaparthya Samasaha. He told, so Saha Kathayam Babhuva, that he, Atmanam, was the son of an ascetic, Tapasvi Sutam, belonging to a caste which was not a twice born. So Dvijayatara, Tapasvi Sutam. Amazing story. Besides the Vyakaranam, you can enjoy the story also. Okay, time is up. So next time, if you want to do some practice, please. I know I'm going a little bit slow, but maybe you can speed up a little bit next time. Says, let's see next time some homework for you. The form Ninaya, lit lakara, straightforward form. Shashamsa, same thing, lit lakaraha. Upetya, the same. Samasanyam purve ktvo lyap. Anuji, yes. Anuji is a question. Yes, Anuji. Anuji, a question?
Satishji, what is Dvijay? Yeah, Dvijay Tara. What is Dvijay Tara?
So Dvija plus is ad gunaha. Dvija plus itara.
Oh, Itara.
So Dvijebhya itaraha. Dvijebhya itaraha. So other than Dvijaha. So that's the one we did. So just ad gunaha over there. So Dvijebhya itaraha. Other than a Dvijaha. So ad gunaha. So next time's homework is nothing special in the next verse also that much. And maybe let's see. You can okay. Homework for next time. Dampati we had in the Vartikam becomes Jampati, Dampati, Jayapati. So for homework you can take the form Dampati, which was from the Sutram, which is the Rajadanta Dishu Param. Look at the Vartikam on 2 to 31 for Dampati for homework. Okay, let's stop with that because there's not a whole lot here really. It's quite straightforward. So we'll continue next time. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Vijay. Ramena Bhyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha. Ramanasti Paranam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham. Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhorama Muddhara. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. Sahasranama Tatulyam Ramanama Varanane. Shri Ramanama Varanana Onnama Iti.